Hi, so it's Saturday and I'm preparing to speak tomorrow from 2 Corinthians chapter 1. But in my heart, I am wrestling with two issues. Number one, to do with abuse in the church, and secondly, to do with criticism of leaders. Both are related, but both I've been wrestling with because I've been listening to this podcast that's called The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill. It's just been very eye-opening, very humbling to listen to this because it deals with real abuse in a real church with real leaders that seem a lot like my church, that seem a lot like me, to be honest. I wonder, how tempting it is for me to respond in this way. Have I actually responded like this in the past? And if so, I need to repent. I need to deal with this in my heart. And it deals also with, that temptation to elevate leaders as personalities. That happens as well in this internet influencer age. But also for these same influencers, for these same leaders to misuse that authority, to press down on people who seem to disagree with them. And so related to that is then how do you deal with the criticism if someone is pointing the finger at you and saying that, hey, you are acting in that way. You are misusing your authority. You don't have the right motivation in serving God. And that's kind of like the context that Paul is dealing with. He is being criticized in this way. And what I found just so helpful is Paul's response to this kind of criticism. Because again, instinctively, my instinctive response is to defend and to dismiss, to say, how dare you? How dare you bring this kind of accusation against me? Who do you think you are? Or what about your motivations? That's my kind of instinctive response. But Paul doesn't do that. No, he doesn't do that. Verse 24, he says, not that we lord it over your faith, but we work with you. We work with you for your joy. He says, we don't do this. We do this instead. We don't lord it over your faith. And the fact that he says we don't do this means it's tempting to do this. Some of us do this as leaders. We lord it over people's faith. We remind them, I'm the Bible study leader. I know more than you. You should listen to me. Don't you dare question my authority. He says, maybe that's not the most gracious or helpful response to criticism. But what's the alternative? The alternative is working with you for your joy. That means coming alongside you, where you're at, to help build you up, to help you grow, but to grow in your joy. And that means bringing people to the point whereby they want to love God, to serve God more, and they want to love their leaders more as well. And to my shame, I didn't know that was possible. And maybe I need to put this video out there so that you remind me when I don't do this, that I don't work with people, see where they're coming from, and to help them see and love Jesus more, not just me more. That's not important. But to want to love God more, and to see how He is good. He is servant-hearted. And I want to be under His headship more. And that will help me then to see how I can then submit to my own leaders in my own church more as well. Again, this is purely for my own conviction of my own sin and for my own walk with God. But this has been helpful for me, and I need to deal with this in my own heart before I preach this tomorrow in the Chinese church. Yeah.